What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Heat Report, and in today's video we're going to be talking about two buyout candidates that I'm very interested in and that I think the Heat should take a look at and potentially try to pick up. Now obviously we know that some of these buyout candidates aren't on, maybe not on the Heat's radar. Some of these buyout candidates that we have been looking at have gone to different teams. We're going to get into all the news, and we have a game today against the Knicks. Hopefully we win that as well. Before we talk about the buyout candidates, hopefully you guys leave a like and subscribe and comment down below what you guys think about the two candidates that I think we should be potentially looking at. And if you guys have any other names, because I really try to find some buyout candidates that would fit our needs and fit our team. It was very tough, especially with the caliber of free agents available. So if you guys have any names in mind other than the two that I mentioned, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will be taking a look at their games. Now let's get right into it. So obviously, what do I think the Heat need? I think we need a big man. I think we need a center who can preferably play either next to Bam or preferably play as a backup center to Bam. Now obviously, I have been saying for a while, and I have been maybe not on this channel, but recently I said it on this channel, that I do think Bam Adebayo is a power forward. I don't think he's a natural center. Bam Adebayo, if you look at his game, is a 6'9", very mobile, versatile big man. He is a guy that can put the ball on the floor, make a play, drive to the rim, obviously, finish with ease, hit the mid-range jump shot, pass the ball very, very well for his size. He is kind of in the mold of a power forward, in my opinion. I don't think he's a center, and we see that playing Bam at the center can get us really far against teams that play small ball, but against teams like the Lakers in the finals, especially even with Bam being half healthy, we saw that we really needed a big to protect Bam at times, because he would get ganged up on down there. He was the only true big man that we had. Obviously, we did try Kelly Olynyk this season, and it has worked out. It hasn't worked out as well as we had hoped for. Kelly Olynyk has not been able to stretch the floor or grab rebounds, the two big areas that we need our bigs to provide. Bam Adebayo is not a three-point shooter yet. I say yet because I do think he will be allowed to be shooting threes very, very soon in the next coming years. But as of right now, his role is to be a guy who's very limited as far as his range goes. He is allowed to shoot mid-range shots, and that's about it. I do think he can shoot the three, but I just don't know why we haven't really let him shoot the three yet. Maybe we want to simplify his growth. I'm not sure, but as of right now, our starting lineup is looking pretty good, and the three players that I'm for certain will start is that Victor Oladipo, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo will start. Now, for the point guard position / the shooting guard position, as well as the power forward / center position, so basically the other guard and the other big, it's very tough for me to pick who's going to start alongside Victor Oladipo and who's going to start alongside Bam. Obviously Ariza has been chosen for the front court spot as of right now, but it might be Bjelica or it might be the two bigs that I'm talking about. As far as the guards, Kendrick Nunn has been a solidified starter. Duncan Robinson, in my mind, has been the guy that Spo has never been willing to drop into the bench. So it might be him. Tyler Hero, I don't think will be starting, and neither do I think Goran Dragic will be starting. I think it's going to be between Kendrick and Duncan. And I think it might be Duncan because of the spacing. So the big is very interesting. And these are the two buyout candidates that I do think we should be looking at. LaMarcus Aldridge has gone to the Brooklyn Nets officially. We were under the impression that he would probably go to the Heat, but after some last-minute decision-making, he's decided to go to the Nets. Apparently because of their chances to win the championship, and obviously we were on a 6-game losing streak, so that didn't help either. Gorgui Dieng is a guy that a lot of Heat fans have been talking about. He's projected to go to the San Antonio Spurs. He's likely to go there. Andre Drummond is a guy that some Heat fans wanted. He's in LA, gone to the Lakers. A lot of these buyout candidates are slipping away, but these two guys I do think can help our team really well. Number one is a player that I do think I was really excited when this guy became a free agent. I really think we should have gone for him sooner, and we should go for him right now. DeMarcus Cousins is a guy that has been working on his game, and I do think he fits the need of what we need. He can play alongside Bam. I do think he can play as a center, with Bam being the power forward. We were going to play Aldridge at the center spot anyway. I do think at this point in their careers, DeMarcus Cousins has shown more in the tank than Aldridge. So I do think DeMarcus Cousins is the better player as of right now because he spaces the floor very well. He can get a rebound. And I do think that him and Bam would be a good front court pairing because he would complement Bam really well. The only problem with DeMarcus Cousins is his defensive awareness and his speed. But if we're putting Bielitsa in there, he doesn't really, change that either. So DeMarcus Cousins, I do think, is a very good option for us to go for. And I do think that we should be looking at DeMarcus Cousins. We did look at him in the past. I even made a video of us potentially getting DeMarcus Cousins after he was released from the Houston Rockets because we were potentially interested in going after him. I don't know what happened to that interest, but DeMarcus Cousins is a guy that I do think we should be very seriously considering getting on our roster because I do think he's the best player available out of all these free agent bigs. The second player is Dwayne Dedmon, and I think Dwayne Dedmon is a guy that's similar to DeMarcus Cousins. Doesn't space the floor as well as Cousins, but has the ability to shoot the three. Can definitely get a rebound, but I do think he's a better rim protector than Cousins. Cousins is probably the better offensive player, but I think Dwayne Dedmon is by far the better rim protector. Cousins was never really a great defender in his prime, and right now his slowed down because of his Achilles injury. So Dwayne Dedmon, who is also coming off an injury of his own, I do think is another guy that we can be considering. And apparently it just came out that we're monitoring his progress. Hopefully we get one of these two guys or both of them. We have two roster spots open because in the trade deadline we sent away 4 players and got back 2, or sent away 5 players and got back 3 in this mid-season trade deadline part with Ariza, Oladipo, and Bielitsa. So we do have 2 wide open roster spots. Both of them don't have to be bigs, but I would prefer that if one of them or both of them were bigs, it would be one or both of these two. I do think that these two are the best bigs available. Other bigs that I saw but wasn't really sold was Scalabissiere was one of them, John Henson, Kyle O'Quinn, who's actually playing overseas right now. These guys are on their free agents right now. So people who are in the G League apparently can be signed by any team. Scalabissiere fits the mold of that. So yeah, I mean, there are bigs like Omari Spellman as well who are currently in the G League or currently overseas, currently not playing. Other than DeMarcus Cousins and Dwayne Dedmon that we can sign, but I just don't think in the case of guys like Scalabissiere and Omari Spellman that they're ready. They're not. I don't think if they come, they're gonna be ready. We have shown that if it's buyout candidates or trade deadline candidates, we have gone after veteran people like veteran players. We haven't gone after any youth, and Victor Oladipo is probably the youngest guy that we've gone after in the trade deadline this year, and he's not even that young. He was drafted in 2014, so I doubt we'll go after any of them. Kyle O'Quinn is a name that maybe he played with the Sixers last year. He's playing overseas this year. But I do think it comes down to these two bigs. Cousins and Dedmon, I think, are the two surefire bigs that we should be either getting one or these two centers. One of these guys have to be on our roster. Otherwise, I would be very disappointed because we have clearly shown that we need a center to either pair alongside Bam or to bring off the bench if Spo wants to continue playing Bam at the center position. The second thing I do want to address in this video is our 6-game losing streak. Now, we are sitting at the 8th seed right now, and a lot of Heat fans are very worried, and I was very worried after some of the losses that we had. I do think that some of those losses were very winnable games. The Charlotte Hornets game, I do think we just came out very flat. If we played like with the intensity that we did in the second half, in the first half, I do think we would have definitely won that game. The Portland Trailblazers game was kind of we weren't really expected to win that game because we had a lot of players out. It was the day of the deadline, but we were in position to win the game in the fourth quarter, and we kind of just let it slip away. Questionable foul call at the end, but it is what it is. And obviously the 2 against Indiana and other games like that, we kind of just let slip away from our hands, especially the Indiana game, the second one, where it went to OT and we lost. We were 6 points ahead in OT, and they just kind of pulled away at the end. So very disappointing performance as a late 6-game losing streak is unacceptable. But I do think we'll win today against the Knicks. I don't think we're gonna go on a 7-game skid. Hopefully I'm right. I don't want to jinx the team or anything like that, but I have a feeling we'll win this game. I'm feeling very positive ahead of the Knicks game tonight. Now the Victor Oladipo is definitely he's not playing against the Knicks because he has a cold, and neither is Kendrick Nunn who has an ankle injury. So we still haven't been able to see our team fully healthy. But one thing that I do want to say is the Charlotte Hornets game, one of the reasons that they were able to beat us so convincingly, especially in the first half, obviously then they didn't beat us convincingly towards the end because we came back. But in the first half, it was kind of a blowout. It was a massacre. It was kind of like the Bucks game all over again where we lost by 47. And I think it was because of the amount of threes that they were able to shoot. And this team is a very fun team to watch when it starts shooting threes. The Charlotte Hornets, like, they just run and gun. That's what they do. And I do think it was very questionable of Spo to run that zone defense over and over again, especially when they had it going from 3. Once you run that zone sometimes and you get some players like these going, like Malik Monk, you saw what he did to us in the first game. The second game, you could argue that he had a better game than he did in the first game. So Malik Monk went off, Terry Rozier went off, Devontae Graham. All these guys are capable of shooting the 3 ball, and we just kind of gave him a bunch of open looks while playing zone, which is why the reason we play zone is because we don't have the greatest of individual defenders besides Bam and Jimmy in our starting lineup. I understand why Spoelstra does this, but it gets to a point where you have to know who you're matching up against. And the Charlotte Hornets, if they get going from 3, are a very dangerous team with guys like that off their bench and in their starting lineup whose job is to score the ball. You can't give these guys multiple open looks because they're going to get going, and then they make the tougher ones, and then at that point you can't do anything. So I think we'll learn from that. I do think adding Vic Oladipo in the starting lineup will provide another defender that we might not need to play zone. And if we get a guy like if Kendrick Nunn is still in the starting lineup, and if we get a guy like a Dwayne Dedmon or something like that, we'll have 5 guys who are able to switch, or Ariza will be next to Bam. So it's kind of it's looking good. It's looking good if we get these 2 guys in, or if we get one of these guys in the buyout market. And I'm not really sure when the buyout deadline is, but one of these 2 guys should be on our roster very soon. And I'm not saying like they will be, but I'm saying they should be. Because if they're not, I'll be very disappointed, like I said before. So hopefully we win today against the Knicks, man. And we break that 6-game skid. We're currently sitting at the 8th seed, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that we're gonna be staying at the 8th seed the whole season. We're gonna bounce back from this. I can guarantee you guys that. But we'll see what happens. I will see what happens, and hopefully we can win tonight against the Knicks and start off with another win streak. I'll see y'all later, guys.